guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and having a beautiful day, doing whatever makes you happy in your happy space. Well, in today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to construct the quilt top. This video, as I would mention in the tutorial itself, will be constructed in two parts. So today we are just going to limit the information and construct the quilt top. What I have decided to do is to lay the top out in a sort of a different setting. I didn't want to put it in direct opposite rows, and so I will take you through the process of how to do that. Any questions, please put them down below. There is a information sheet attached. Please download it so you know what you need to do. All right, well, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy. Please, as I said, any problems, do let me know, but I do feel that you'll be fine. Everything is very much laid out quite easily for you to understand. All right, so let's get started. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen, and we are currently doing a vintage style quilt along. Okay, let's get going, guys. All right, so here is the layout that I propose we go with for those of you that are making the block or making the quilt. So what I have done so far as a start is to just lay the blocks out where I want them to be, and you can do that with yours. What I have done in the middle, you would notice a difference. I have built up the block a little bit more. I just felt it needed something extra in the middle. So I put the Celtic block in the middle, but I've added the same color on the corners of that block there. All right. And I've added a solid brown on opposite sides. So that's what I've done with that. I have put the starburst right at the top, and I have put the spinning star at the bottom where the remote is. I had to put some items there so that the blocks don't slide off. All right. And lay the other blocks around. Okay. Now what I want you to bear in mind is the way in which it's laid out. So currently I am actually filling in the strips that I need to add to separate the blocks. I don't want them together. I don't want block to block. As you know, the block sizes are different. Okay, none of them, well, I should say majority is about 12.5, but there are some, as you know, that one over there I made small, but don't worry, yours is 12.5. Okay. And I think another one was slightly small. I'm not referring to the two sawtooth, but nevertheless, not all of them are the same size, as you know, so this is no surprise to you. Okay, what I have done is for this one here, I have added a strip there. It has not made it into the 12.5, but I will finish off that. I haven't sewn anything on. They're all just placed at the moment. I will obviously add the sizes, take a picture so that it's nice and clear for you so that you can lay yours out the same way if you want to, or to change it around. It's entirely down to you. But I think I'm happy with the placement. Okay, I have decided to put the two sawtooth at the end of the block. Doesn't really matter, is what I wanted to have that transition there. I may possibly move the green, the lucky star, and add the flower there just to give that same orientation of color. Okay, because you've got the orange transitioning through there, and then it stops with the green. So I may add a block there that has a little bit of orange in it. So I may swap these two around. Either way, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Okay, same what I've done here. There's a transition of blue in all three of the ones here. So I do think it will be fair to remove this block and add it there. Okay, but what I have done, as I said, is add the strips around these ones here. Here I haven't added that as yet, but I will add those there. What I don't want is the blocks touching, so I don't want the blocks like so. For example, I want to separate them. Okay, and here what will happen is that the size strips will go up to here, and then this will be one row completed. Okay, however, what I am doing is going to sew, once the strips are ready, going to sew them together in a long strip, another long strip, and another long strip at the end. What I say strip, I should say row, a long row, okay? What I am also going to do is once I have built this block up to the end here to make it the same size as the middle and as the sawtooth, I am, however, going to add another strip of fabric in the middle here that comes all the way down there as well on both sides. All right, again, widening the quilt top a little bit more. Now remember, I don't want the blocks touching, so hence the reason I am doing this. I really don't want this butt up against it like that. I really don't. I want to keep separating them because I want each block to shine. All right, so that's where I'm at the moment. I am going to start sewing once I have done these filler areas here where it's empty, and then I will make the first strip. Of course, I would record everything so that you're clear on what you need to do, and you will have the details in the description box down below. All right, so I'm going to move on to that now, and I will show you every step, but let's get started on sewing it together. So the spinning star is at the end here in the middle row, because remember these are your biggest blocks. So your starburst, Celtic, these two make up the width of the middle block, and I've got my spinning star, which I'm going to, just as I've done with the star blades at the top, is to widen here and here. And then once I've done that, I am going to add a strip of fabric that separates the 1, 2, 3 rows. Okay, this one is here as well, and the woven is at the end. But I am going to swap these around as I mentioned, so I'm going to do it now so that I don't forget, because I know how my brain is. Either Jackson will come in and make a noise and I will completely forget, and then sew it together like so. So I think that's better, where I have that orange going all the way around. Okay, I could possibly move this one, which I think I will do. If I move this one and put it up here, and the reason why I'm doing this is because of the blue and the orange again. So I move that one and I put the flower block here because it's got the green in it. I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter, isn't it? So, I mean, yeah, doesn't really. Oh, brilliant. Of course it's going to fall. Stay. Yeah, so I think that's good. I think I'm happy with that. What do you think? I think that's nice. Yes, definitely. Definitely that works. That works. That definitely works. Happy with that. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, definitely. I'm not going to convince myself anymore. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, we can. All right. Okay, so that's where I'm going with that. I'm happy with this. I am happy with this. Looking good. Very pleased. Very, very pleased. All right, so I'm going to start sewing together, and then I will show you the next stages.
Baby, you give me ice and fire.
Alright, so let me bring you up to date to what's been happening. So I've completed the first row here and I've joined the rows together. Okay, now let me just go through a few things with you so that you have clarity when you come to do yours. What I have done is to lay out all of the strips that I need for my blocks. I think I mentioned that before, I don't remember, but I'm going to repeat myself just because I think it's important that I do so. So I've laid the strips out. Let me demonstrate on the strips I haven't done yet. So as you can see, I've laid the strips out here, 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 okay? And even this one I have already completed. I think I completed that one with you on camera. Now, what I want you to take heed of, remember, I said to you that the blocks are different sizes. So for example, this one was smaller than this one, and they're not hugely different, but some of them you will need to, and the blocks that I have added on an extra strip of fabric will most likely be the same for you, except the other one, which is the hoops block, the bright hoops block. So this one here I've added on probably about 1.25 inches there in order to make sure it's lined up properly. I've done the same for the woven star. So the woven star and the ribbon star, I think they come up at 12, the others come up at 12.5. All right, so if you haven't got that issue, then of course you just check your blocks, make sure they make a neat, tidy row all the way down. Okay, the middle row now, what I decided to do was to build up the center block. So I've added my strips, and again the pattern will give you everything that you need. If you decide to change your layout other than my layout, then you will have to work it out. Hence the reason why I am taking the time to explain to you what I did if you decide to change your layout. So let's say, for example, you decided to put your starburst in the middle, then you'll have to build your starburst up to meet the size of this, or vice versa. Okay, but for now let's continue with my explanation. So my Celtic block I've placed in the middle. I've added a cornerstone there, and I've added a different one. I think I mentioned that in my previous slide. All right. Also, and I've added these ones here as well, these white strips. Now, in order to ensure that these two line up, we need to make sure that it's the same width across. Okay, so that I can join these. Now, what I want you to pay heed of is that I am adding the same strip in between each of the rows so that it's the same throughout. Okay, I don't want my blocks touching, hence the reason why I keep adding the strip in between. So for example, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. I could have done that, but I didn't want that. I wanted all of the blocks to have their own individual spotlight. Hence the reason, after I made this one larger, so that it's the center, by adding up these squares around it, I also added another strip there and another strip at the top because I want to keep it separated. So when I add it like so, it's going to be, as you see it there. Same with this one here. Okay, so that is what it's going to look like. All right. The other thing I need to mention, now this spot here is missing my spinning star, and I'm currently working on that. So I'm going to come over here and just point it out to you. So on my mat here is my spinning star, and I am currently adding on the strips of fabric onto it. Now, very important, don't take this to the sewing machine with your long strips and then sew. I don't want you to do that, and I'll tell you why. It is much more, what word should I use? It's much more better, I'll keep it simple, to ensure that you measure your strip on your block and then cut. The reason why I say to do it like that is because you get a more structured block in that way. What tends to happen, because remember these blocks are a little bit on the bias in it, we've got a lot of, you know, half square triangles, etc., and it can be a little bit stretchy. So if you go and you stitch it on first, then cut, what you're doing essentially is allowing the block to remain stretchy, and when the whole quilt top is done, it wouldn't lay flat. So in essence, if you cut the strip first, what that does is structure, making it nice and firm so that it stays flat. Okay, so you're not giving it that bias, you're not allowing it to be stretchy, you're controlling it. So I'm going to add 2 of these, 1 on each side. Okay, I am not squaring up this. The reason why is because it's going to be here, and it's going to, once I've added on the strips, it's going to be the width of the sawtooth strip block here. I hope that makes sense. Let me explain it here as well. So you see, for this one here, the flower block, I haven't cut it as yet. As you can see, it's still connected. So I'm measuring first and then cut again, just to make sure that it's nice and structured. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with this side. The reason why this strip is on this side is because, remember, this block, I think I said it was 11 inches or something like that. I made a mistake. Yours should be the normal size. But if you've done what I did and made a mistake, don't worry about it. All you need to do is just build the block up. Add your background fabric so that it comes to the size of the other blocks that you're lining up. Last thing I need to point out to you in your planning stage, because that's what we're doing here, is to note this. And I'm going to come down here. Once we've added on our bits and bobs, it may come up short. As you can see, this stops here. This one is going to stop here as well. Okay, because I have to lengthen it down. Okay. All right, it's going to come up short on the top and possibly the bottom. All I am going to do to show that offset look is to add a strip of white fabric along here, background fabric. So in essential, this will be at the top with background strip on this side, background strip on this side. Okay, same for the bottom if need be. But again, I will then add another border around it just to ensure that the whole thing squares up nicely. But for now, it's looking good. I am happy the way it's coming about. Quite easy. All the details, all the measurements is going to be in the pattern, and I'm going to make sure there's arrows so that it's clear and concise for you, so that you don't have any questions. All right, and if you do not hesitate to reach out to me. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to sew this one together, add it in its spot, which is going to be underneath here. Again, that's going to make it longer, so then I will need to add a strip underneath this one and another strip underneath this one. Okay, so you're going to have the middle slightly short, but the 2 rows at the end is going to be longer. So give it that offset look. I hope that makes sense. The last thing, once all the rows are sewn together individually, I'm going to add a strip here, again, separating the rows. Okay, I may possibly add a little cornerstone, randomly placed. I'm not sure yet, I'll see. All right, guys, so I hope that makes sense. Let's move on, and then the next I will show you is the completed quilt top. You good? You can't come in, can you? I know. Yeah, I know. I know. It sucks for you, but it's good for me. Well, sorry, because you can't leave my stuff alone inside here. You keep interfering stuff, you're chewing stuff. So sorry. Unfortunately, this is the way it's going to be from now on. What is wrong with you? Huh? What? Alright guys, so here we go. So this is the quilt top completed to where I want to stop. I'm going to give you the sort of completion of it in 2 parts. Alright, So this tutorial, literally, as you know, was about, fitting all the blocks together. And so it is still in 3 rows. I haven't separated it. So this is row 1 here with the woven star, etc. Okay. Row 2 starts with your starburst, your Celtic in the middle, and your sawtooth, and your spinning at the end. And then we have the flower, the King's Cross, or New England's Cross. Can't remember that one, and I can't remember that one. All right. However, what I wanted to point out is I've added a strip there, and I'll put it in the details. So a strip on that side and on the 3rd row, and a strip on the, I shouldn't say a strip, I should say a sashing, a long sashing there and a long sashing there. Okay, you can still see separate. I haven't sewed them together. I've also added on the fabric at the end here, and again that will be because the reason why I've done that, added on the a wider strip at the bottom there and at the bottom at the top here, and I've done that for both rows, as you can see. The reason for that is because obviously these blocks in the middle are bigger, isn't it? Alright, so then we had to build up the length of this row here in order to make it into a square, and so that everything lines up properly. Alright, but all the details are there for you. Any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, but I think it's clear enough, and everything will be identified and labeled correctly so that you can build yours when the time comes. If you haven't done so, by the time obviously the video comes up, you will always have it there. So that is it for now. Next week we will move on to doing the borders, and we will be doing an applique border. Alright, I didn't want to just do an ordinary final color, solid color around. I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting and continue the process of learning and making something more creative, rather than just adding a border or just ending it there, ending the quilt with just, the binding. Alright, but next week we will finish it off, but for now this is where it's going to stop. But it's looking very beautiful, very, very beautiful. Happy with it. Looks very nice. The colors are just amazing. So do like and subscribe for more. Hit that notification bell. Talk to me down below. Let me know your feedback. I always look forward to reading them and corresponding with you. And that's it. Bye for now. Happy quilting. Love you lots, and I shall see you sometime over the weekend. And let's say goodbye to Jackson. I don't know, he's found something. What is it you got there? What is that? What is that, Jackson? Look at you. All you want to do is make a mischief. I'm going to come and get it. I'm coming to get it from you. Really? That's what you're going to do? Give it to me. Alright guys, I'm going to have to get this off this dog because I know he's going to shred it into pieces, so then I now have to clean it up. Alright, so last look at the quilt. Do reach out and let me know. It's early in the morning here, so hence this is just natural. I have a white light in here which is perfect for the sewing room, and then we got yellow light in the other room as you just saw. Alright guys, bye for now. Happy quilting. Love you lots. I look forward to chatting to you down below. Bye.
My appetite.